So now that we have Apache enabled, let's say we want to add some modules to the Apache web server. So let's start by looking at what modules we already have. So if I issue the command Apache2-L, that's going to list things that are already compiled. So these are basically core modules that are already compiled. Now, if I want to see what modules I currently have installed and available, even if they may not be inactive, or even if they may not be active, it's A2EN mod. And remember, we talked about A2EN site to enable a site. A2EN mod is to enable a module. Now, if I just type A2EN mod without that, this shows me all of my modules that are currently installed. Now, none of them are active yet. They're just installed. So if I want to notice my prompt down here, which modules do you want to enable? And then I could put in, I want to enable the status module, and then it would enable that. Or if what I want isn't here, I can just hit enter to exit me out of that. I could also type A2EN mod space A2EN mod. There we go. Space, let's do SSL, and that would enable the SSL module. Okay, now what if what I want isn't here? So if I look through here, notice we don't see PHP, Python, something like that. So what if I wanted to add that as an additional module to my Apache server? Well, Apache has tons of modules, and here's how we can find them. It's apt search, and then I would put in what I want it to search for. And to find my modules, it would be, let me make sure I get the right thing here. lib library Apache2-mod. And this is going to show me all of my Apache modules. And then I can pipe that through more and go through one page at a time until I find what I want, or less, which would allow me to scroll back and forth, or I can pipe it to grep. So let's say I wanted to enable Python and PHP. I'm going to do grep Python. And that's going to find for me specifically anything with Python in the name. So here's my lib apache2-mod-python. So it would be sudo apt install lib apache2-mod-python. And that will install the Python module for me. And then if I want to do the same thing for PHP, it would be grep PHP. And then I'm going to find a couple of them here, and what I want is PHP 7.4. So I'm going to do my up arrow again to find mod PHP 7.4. And that would install that PHP module for me. That one actually gave me an error. That's interesting. Let's do apt update to update, since it's been a little while since I've done this. And once we get it updated, now let's see about doing PHP module 7.4. That looks a little bit better, doesn't it? Okay, so that gets my PHP module installed. So now, once my PHP module is installed, if I do A2EN mod, I'm going to look and find PHP 7.4 and Python. Python is on this line. PHP 7.4 is on this line. So I want to do Python, and that will enable the module. Now, with Ubuntu, when you download a module, it tends to automatically enable it. So if it doesn't, for some reason, then you would have to do this manually. So I'm going to go ahead and do it for the same thing, A2EN mod PHP 7.4. Okay, it's already enabled. Life is good. Now, when you add a new module to Apache, you typically need to restart Apache for that to take effect. Now, if you do that, it's actually going to drop all of your current active connections. So that's just something to be aware of. So I'm going to go ahead and systemctl restart Apache2. give it my password since I didn't tell it to sudo that. And let's try it this way. Sudo systemctl restart Apache2. Okay, there we go. Now, a similar thing happens if you enable a new site. However, for the new site, you don't always have to restart. You can just reload. And that will cause Apache to reload those configuration files without actually shutting down the Apache daemon and restarting it. Okay, so now you should have a pretty good idea of how we can find and then enable modules for our Apache web server.